Fitness friends, we are back with another little video. It's all going to be about training age, things to know about training age, when programming for clients or when new clients come in, scaling, all that kind of stuff, either scaling up or scaling down, either one. I had a call today with a coach that I'm doing some coaching development with, and we actually talked all about training age and what does that look like? How do we take that and then how do we make better programs for someone who is X along the training age continuum? And so I thought it would be cool to kind of just go through briefly, well, you know how I am, a training age kind of continuum, and what does that mean, character qualities for each piece, for each part, okay? So here's a continuum. We have N here, which is novice, I for intermediate, and then A for advanced, okay? That's kind of like the general, and then obviously we have some little tick marks across here because it's a spectrum, okay? Nobody is all one thing. We have a spectrum. So what does this look like in and throughout this spectrum or throughout this training cycle, okay? When we have a novice client, we're looking at movement refinement, okay? Helping this person move better. What are character qualities that we're focused on? It's technique, okay? How do we achieve technique? We're looking at motor control, okay? We'll talk specifically about what does that look like when we train that. Over time, we're moving from movement refinement to movement in general. We are moving more movement, okay? Novice to intermediate, now we're doing more movement. We're looking at consistency. Whatever technique focuses that we've built or we've been focused on, we're looking to make this consistent. And what does this look like? This looks like volume. This person has earned the right to experience more movement, more volume. Okay, then we have, and this gets a little convoluted, this gets a little confusing for some people. We continue trending in this direction. We can make this a lot harder over time, and eventually the goal for many people is to get to advanced. Okay, now the thing about advanced is that the goal for people who are advanced, it's all about maximizing physical potential, MPP, maximizing physical potential. Right? Now, that can also be relative to the sport or whatever it is that you're choosing, but for most people, this is going to be more oriented around a sport, okay? What we know about this domain when we start getting this specialized is that there is compromise that comes with that, okay? There is compromise, there is sacrifice that comes with this, health, so on and so forth. But character qualities or attributes that are common or associated with people who are in the advanced category is intensity first, and then over time we add in variance. We add in variance to almost kind of reset this whole cycle, and then the goal is to move a little bit further over time. Okay, so what does this look like if we were going to do some programming for someone? We do an assessment, we do like sit down consultation assessment, understand needs analysis, understand what they need, and let's just use the squat for example. We have the back squat, back squat, and if we want them to, and we're here novice client, this is going to look like this back squat, and it'll be maybe 4-2 times 3 repetitions, and we want opportunity for them to practice this movement and practice these positions, so we might go 8 sets. So for those of you that don't know a lot about tempo is a character quality that will be associated with people who are in the novice, This is all about motor control. This is about finding the right positions, then owning the right positions. Then and only then, when we found these good positions, then can we add more volume to that. So, Dean, this looks like a decent amount of volume, and it is, don't get me wrong, but note that the working sets are actually lower here. The working sets, so it's 3 repetitions times 8 sets. The working reps, the working sets are actually a little bit lower, more sets, and then all of this is all very neurologically driven. This is all about developing the skill, or also this could be called like skill acquisition. Character qualities are going to be tempo, time under tension. We're going to spend more time practicing the movement, okay? Over time, this is going to look like some sort of volume or a progressive overload, right? And this could be as simple as back squat, 5 by 5 at about 80%. And then over time, we're plus 5 pounds, we're plus 5 pounds again, we're plus 5 pounds again. Then we deload, we back off a little bit, and we restart this whole program all over again, okay? We can do this with the back squat. Now, as we move forward and we, hold on a second, I want to make sure I got that. So consistency, we're looking at volume. It's going to be a big portion of the program. It's progressive overload, linear stuff. And a good example of that is, as a back squat, is a 5 by 5. We can look at this in other ways too. So don't just limit yourself to a 5 by 5 or like a typical Texas method. It could be 10 or reps of 10, 3 sets of that, 4 sets of that, 5 sets of that. Also, fun thing to note is females and males are going to be different, right? Especially when we start including or getting into volume or like hypertrophy work. Females are going to do better with volume. Males are not going to do quite as well as with volume. Females are going to do better with volume as far as building strength and so on and so forth. So that's just a little side thing to note. Okay, so we have our volume, we have some programs that are running lots of volume, and all of those are good examples of like the Texas method. It's all progressive overload, linear periodization, okay? Then over here, we have intensity and variance, okay? This could look like week 1, you're doing speed work with the back squat. Week 2, this could look like volume work, and week 3 this could look like max effort work. What is this? What are some specific examples of this? Back squat times 3 times 8, rest 90 seconds at about, we could do 60% bar weight and then about 20% accommodating resistance. So you could use chains or bands. You want to make sure that when it's fully extended to the top, that it's about 20% of someone's 1 rep max. So that's total about 80%, and it's going to allow people to focus on speed and making them faster. So that's one attribute. Volume could be, we could see this. We could see something like this, right? Could be back squat, 5 by 5, at about 80%. And then max effort work, it could be as simple as back squat times 3, build to a heavy set of 3. And this is a good example of weekly undulating periodization, WD or WUD. Then after you kind of finish this or continue to press this forward, then we have variation. So it's like we might have pressed out the back squat as far as it can go. Then let's take it with let's take a low bar back squat approach. Let's do low bar back squat approach. Or, and I love this, the Zercher for some people. Maybe we're doing Zercher for front squats opposed to regular front squats. We're going to do a Zercher, kind of a Zercher cycle with that. This variance is going to allow this person at an advanced level to continue pushing their body, both physically and neurologically, gaining adaptation. So training age considerations for people who are novice, intermediate, and advanced. People who are novice, character qualities that we're looking at are going to be motor control, time and attention, a lot of tempo work with novice athletes, or not just novice, but it might be that a movement for an advanced client could have, they could have a lower training age specific to that movement. And then here we're going to see some volumes, progressive overload. We're looking for consistency in that movement pattern. And then finally kind of graduating into this intensity and variance where there's a lot of work that's being done, there's a lot of intensity that's being done, there's a lot of volume, and there's a lot of variance in changing how we're stimulating the central nervous system to continue developing or demanding adaptation for this client, okay? Hopefully that was educational. Hopefully that was useful. We can, as practitioners, pull someone after a good assessment and look at where they're at based off of how they're moving and how they perform on some tests. We can kind of assume where they fall on this on this timeline. We can also assume where they may be with their gymnastic movements, or where they are with barbell strength, or whatever else. So for me, I have a couple clients that actually have really advanced training ages with the barbell, but their gymnastics, and this is relative to mixed modal or CrossFit, but their gymnastics is really far behind. So what their gymnastics actually looks a lot more like this, with some motor control and tempo work, where their barbell stuff actually looks a little bit more like this. So you can have that kind of hybrid in that mix, okay? Hopefully that was helpful. If you guys have any questions, don't be afraid to reach out. Remember, learn, grow, teach.